What's up, guys? Welcome to Shacknews on Twitch. It is Wednesday. I think it's Wednesday, June the 26th. The year is 2019. We'd like to thank you for joining us here for this lovely weekday afternoon stream. As always, if you want to know ahead of time what's going on, what's important, you can check us out on shacknews.com. We're also on Twitter at Shacknews and on YouTube at Shacknews Games. We got articles, we got news, we got guides out the wazoo, all the newest video. If it needs to be known, let us tell it to you. You need to see it in video style, we got that for you too. As always, I want to thank our regular viewers, our subscribers, our followers, all the folks here in chat that love to torment me. It's wonderful having you all here. Today is a very special episode of the ShackStream. We have a very, very special guest from the Great White North. I'd like to introduce Shacknews managing editor, I believe, Bill. What's up?
Hey, man, what's going on?
I'm glad to have you here. For those that don't know, I think the kids know you by, the kids and the chicks call you Rumpo Plays. Is that true?
Yeah, you probably dropped the plays, but yeah, Rumpo or Bill is usually a pretty, well, the plays is relevant, but usually Bill or Rumpo is good.
Mm-hmm. So today's special because we're taking a look at a very well-made, aggressively Canadian survival game by the name of The Long Dark. I've had this in my Steam collection for a while, just hadn't gotten around to play it. I had friends recommend it, and then you mentioned it to me a couple weeks back about doing a stream on it, and that kind of set this plan in motion for what we're doing today. But could you give us like a general overview or what we can expect for those that have no idea what the hell's going on?
Sure. So The Long Dark has been out in early access. It left early access, I think, in July of 2017. Before that, it spent 2 or 3 years in early access. I didn't join in playing until probably a year after it came out. It's got two major modes. One is a survival sandbox, which is obviously just open world, whatever you want. But unlike other survival games in that respect, it doesn't have objectives. It's completely player driven. So you're responsible for what you do or what you don't do. And it has a story mode as well, but that is not complete. It's about 40% complete, 2 out of 5 episodes. And those in their current form are probably anywhere from like 5 to 15 hours of gameplay if you were to do the story modes. It does have some challenge modes and things like that that are a little bit more objective driven for people who like that, but the main bread and butter is the survival. And it is a cold game.
You're saying I should have brought an extra heavy coat?
A few of them, probably. Yeah,
oh boy.
It's a cold game. It does take place in the Canadian wilderness, and your only objective is to not die. That's really it. And many different difficulty modes that come pre-made, and also a custom mode where you can sort of fine-tune the difficulty to what you want. Like once you reach a certain level of we'll say competency within the game, you can turn certain things off or crank them up or make it harder, whatever you want to do. So
nice. Well, before we jump into that, I want to mention for the folks that don't know or need to be told what to do, visit us on shacknews.com. You see at the website up here behind me, we got our Mario Maker 2 review is up hot and fresh this morning. If you got a Nintendo Switch, this is probably going to be mandatory reading for you. You can also check our guide out to the Steam sale, and I'd like to mention that for those that want to support the site directly or just like what we're doing, we have the relaunch of our Mercury subscription service. For as little as $1 a month, you can support the site you love or love to hate. Either way, we don't care. We'll take the money. But the ads are removed from the experience, ad-free on mobile and on desktop. You get access to the e-reader formats of our excellent long read feature content, as well as special emblems on your username if you use our chatty forum and speak with all those crazy people there. There are other tiers if you want to take your support even farther, and you get rewards, exclusive t-shirts, hoodies, things like that. So, Shacknews is your thing, or you like what we're doing here, and you'd like to keep supporting what we do, check out that Mercury subscription. You can see it here behind me on the website. Just click the dog. That's all you got to do, and you'll be taken to the right spot. So with that being said, enough with the shilling. Let's get to the chilling, as it were, for the long dark. See if we get the game popped up here. I've loaded up the menu. So for those that just joined, we're doing the long dark Canadian survival. I have not yet played this game, so this is going to be new for me. I expect to die 75 to 100 times here, but Bill's going to be our expert trapper slash guide slash person that's going to keep me from embarrassing myself too much.
Expert Canadian.
That's expert. You're full blown Canadian.
That's right.
You've got it, and you got it bad. So hopefully you'll be able to guide us through this.
I would, if you haven't already, I would pop into options, because at the very least you should see the key bindings in there, which you'll want to know. But I don't know if you've checked out the display or anything else like that you want to or need to adjust. But it's actually a fairly simple game in terms of controls. The key bindings are very straightforward. I make a few adjustments. Obviously, you can too, but there's not a whole lot. One thing this game does have that I think is genius, and every PC game should have, is if you press F10, you get a high resolution screenshot without the HUD. No having to go turn the HUD off or camera mode or anything. Just pop and done. It is pretty awesome. So pretty standard stuff. You just need to know your sprint and your crouch. And I guess the main thing would be spacebar. Holding spacebar will give you your radio menu, which you can pretty much access anything from there. And tapping the tab button will give you like your stats. So for the most part, there's not going to be a HUD unless the game has to tell you something. So if you want to see something, you got to like press tab. If you hold it down, it'll stay on screen. If you let it go, it'll appear and disappear.
All right.
So that is number one. So other than that, not much to see there. I was thinking about where you should start. I think you should start in survival mode, only because in story mode, the game does a little bit of hand-holding, and I do enjoy story mode, but it doesn't have some of the items in it, and you can't craft some of the clothing. Not that you will get to that point today necessarily anyway, but it's just the survival mode is the most complete and finished experience in the game.
All right, well, let's jump in. So you got the option to explore and unlock feats, which is not going to be applicable to me because I don't even have feet. I have paws as a wolf. So we'll go in the new. I got choices for my difficulty, I'm assuming: Pilgrim, Voyager, Stalker, Interloper, and then you looks like you can define a custom rule set.
Yeah, so
do you recommend I take Voyager, or do I jump straight?
I would recommend Voyager, yeah. Pilgrim has non-hostile wildlife, which kind of takes a little bit of the bite out of the game. Voyager is going to give you hostile wildlife, but still not a punishing experience. So Voyager would be my pick for sure.
So Voyager, we still have a chance to turn into a wolf, but the wolf's not going to have a handgun.
If you run into a wolf in Voyager, you're in trouble. Yeah.
All right.
Or a bear. But there won't be quite as many wolves as there would be on Stalker, and it's like, if you do get attacked, it's a little less punishing. So Voyager is a pretty good learning place for the game. I would recommend Pilgrim if you weren't streaming, but on stream you kind of want to have that danger.
The people are going to want to see me die, so yeah, I can live with it.
Voyager's the way to go.
So it looks like we have a region choice that we can start out in. Looks like Mystery Lake, Coastal Highway, Desolation Point, Pleasant Valley, Timberwolf Mountain. It actually looks like there's 3,000 of these.
There's so they're all different. Mystery Lake was the first ever map created, I believe, and it's very balanced. So that would be a good starting location. Some people believe in putting it on random, but the problem with that is you could get a very, very hard map right out of the get-go.
Mm-hmm. Do you have one you prefer for our experiment here?
I would say Mystery Lake.
All right.
Some of the maps don't have any shelters, so you're basically, if you're not ready to be there, you're in trouble.
Are there any differences between the male and female survivor other than cosmetic?
No, just there's no gameplay advantage or disadvantage to either one. It's just about voice acting. I think both of the voice actors are from the Mass Effect franchise, actually. I'm not sure.
Uh-oh. All right, well, if there's anybody in chat, we had one earlier. It looks like Dirge was here. Anybody have a choice to what we take, male or female? We try to be equal opportunity here and include third-party vote when applicable. Or he already died of boredom. Well, whatever. We'll take a female or a male, whatever. So we need to name this sandbox. This is like the name of our save game here.
Doesn't matter. Whatever you want to put on there. And this is a permadeath game. So once you die, you start again. There's no, you can't go back to like the last time you saved or anything like that. There's ways to circumvent that, but the intent of the experience is that if you die, that's it. So.
All right. So it looks like our plane has crashed due to a geostorm, which I hate when that happens.
Yeah, it's a drag.
The most intelligent species is not the one that survives; it's the one that's able to adapt, according to our boy Darwin. All right. First off, I'm going to adjust the old mouse look. It felt weird, but maybe that's just me being stupid. %40 just seems like an arbitrary good number. We'll go with this for the time being. So we are here in the wilderness right off the bat. Our plane has crashed or it disappeared and dropped us here. Either way, we are in the woods. I found a stick.
So what I would do, the game is very intuitive. So what I would do is just advise you to just go. And just learn. Just give it a shot, because the best the long dark is ever going to be is when you first start it, and you don't want to have someone telling you, every little thing that you should be doing, because then you're not going to enjoy it. So, just whatever feels natural to you at the moment is where I would begin. If I see anything, that I can.
Can I turn around backwards and rub my back against the tree?
Yeah, you can do that.
Yeah. That's what I would do in real life.
Yeah.
Okay, I like that our footsteps are being shown. I'm assuming those are semi-permanent until more inclement weather comes and fills them up.
Yeah, semi-permanent. They may disappear after a period of time, but I'm not sure what exactly that period of time is. I've gone indoors and come out before. Anytime you go into a building that has a load screen, then basically it kind of like that's the game
wipes the world state. Yeah.
Yeah, you might come back out and see footprints, but it tends to do a little bit of reset again. And all of your status bars are in the left where your wolf is.
So we had a temperature, we have an eyeball meter, we have a drop of mustard meter, and we have a digestive meter.
If you press F, which you don't want to do it for too long, but if you press F, you'll see a more permanent listing of your status.
We are losing calories already, and it is cold as shit, so we're going to maybe find some sticks and stones and look for some sort of temporary shelter. I feel like would be key. Because if it gets dark and I'm standing out here like a dipshit right now, this is not going to be good.
And if you hit the tab button and look in the top right, you'll see where the sun is in the sky, and that gives you don't get a clock, but it gives you an idea of what time of day it is. So it looks like it's just afternoon. So you're actually at what would be considered one of the warmest times of the day, which means even into evening. So in the long dark, you don't want to be outside in the morning unless you're really prepared.
So breaking this branch down into sticks is eating up 35 of my calories. Everything I do, I'm assuming running eats calories hella fast.
Yeah. So that's basically the struggle. Okay, I know where you are.
Uh-oh, we have some animal action down here, but I have no way to take on them because I have nothing but sticks and stones. I could craft something
deer,
possibly.
Yeah. See deer.
Yeah, we officially have baby deers.
Fingers feel numb.
My guy said his fingers feel numb, and I don't doubt that.
There will be a lot of audio cues like that, but really, at the end of the day, that's kind of just in case you don't notice the bar in the bottom left. So your temperature gauge, right now, you've got what looks like about maybe 15% of your warmth left, so you're fine. But once that gets empty, you're going to start losing the condition bar, which is the heart bar at the bottom. And then once the heart bar gets to 0, you're dead. You can sprint, and you can also, I don't know what it is. I think it's maybe, I forget what the backpack is, but there's a quick key binding to open your backpack and see what items you might have inside of it. I don't know if you
I
have
think
the
it's
ability
the
to
I
select it.
key.
Yeah, I always that's the one I always change to B, just because it's B for backpack for me.
All right. Oh, it
And
looks
then
to be a
along the
small bit
left
of
is
shelter over here.
fire. Is there?
Looks like a square hunting blind or something over here.
There you go.
Also, this big ass deer. I don't know what this lichen does, but I figure maybe I can make underwear out of it at some point.
It is necessary crafting material. Yeah.
I'm sure there are no bugs in this that'll end up living in my junk. I see that the deer left little footies, so I can track them to get food later, maybe.
Yep. You should. There should be plenty. I won't. I wouldn't anticipate you're going to have any trouble finding food. Um, there's like most areas, like sections of map will have some sort of animals. But they do kind of spawn in and spawn out. So you could come back here in 2 days and there'll be no deer, and then 5 days later there'll be deer. So it's kind of um, on higher difficulty levels. The more you hunt, over time, the animal population lowers. So it becomes more difficult to find food.
Handy. Excellent.
We found a bow and arrow,
Wow,
a whetstone to sharpen our blade if we get one. Also, I found newspaper to wipe myself with.
Yeah. So there you go. You got a bow now. That's one of the fastest I've ever seen anybody get armed. I mean, you have a single arrow, so you're
Yeah, I can't miss.
no. And if it doesn't die and it runs,
Yeah, I'm
gotta
gonna be
find it.
chasing it for 2 hours.
take a peek in that cave right there to your left. I just want to see if there's something in there. So that cave right there, I'm just gonna kind of let you know it's a bear cave.
Uh-oh.
But if you look inside of a cave and you see bones, like a carcass, that means that there's an active bear in that cave. There's no bones and there's no bear. So you're all right. There's no bear here.
I don't think I found the cave, or I'm an idiot.
No, you found it.
That's a cave? Okay.
Well, it's a bear cave. It's not a proper,
Okay,
like
I can't crawl
cave.
into it.
No. But it's basically a bear spawn point. There's several of them on most of the maps, but they're not always active. So you may never see a bear in that cave on this playthrough, but the next playthrough you might see one. You're losing condition now, so you definitely need to go for a walk, see if you can find somewhere warm.
So we got a little shed over here.
There you go. And in the early game, one of the things you should focus on the most is basically once you're warm, as you find new clothing items, put the clothing items on because it'll warm you up. You'll be able to be outside longer. You'll be able to be in harsher conditions. But you're going to want to keep moving a lot and finding supplies, because right now it does you no good to get bogged down with your current, equipment, because you really can't do a lot.
Mm-hmm. What's up, Lucci? Welcome to the stream. We've gone full-blown Canadian today. Found shelter here for the first time. We got papers, a book, shelving.
Now, oddly enough, you're
Don't
not
need
warming
this
up,
anymore.
though. That's interesting. It doesn't look. So now you're going to want to try hitting C. I don't know if that's a custom key for me or not.
So we've got that vest I picked up, and we've layered it on top of our standard issue Canadian flannel.
There you go. So now you should see, I don't know what the bonus was, but now you've got a 7-degree Fahrenheit warmth bonus.
Mm-hmm.
So as you add more clothes, that will go up. But there is a layered clothing system, so if your clothes get wet, then they can freeze, and that's a bad thing. You don't want that to happen. Wind affects it, things like that. And they're very clever with their loot here as well, so you're going to want to take a really close look.
This will come in handy.
Painkillers, those are fun even if you're not stranded.
That's true. But they do like to hide things behind boxes and under beds and whatnot. So sometimes they can be quite difficult to spot. Now you're getting some decent stuff out here. May not seem like it for a first playthrough, but
Getting more loot than I would in DayZ.
That's a lot more loot, and there's no zombies. They call this game the Quiet Apocalypse. I'm interested in your first wolf encounter though, because it feels like you'd be killing your kind.
Yeah, I'm not emotionally ready to talk about that yet.
We're just gonna see how it goes. All right.
I don't know if you've seen other streams where we've come across wolves and the things that have happened, but it usually gets really emotional. Uh-oh, we have our first extra dude searching this corpse.
This stuff will come in handy.
He had a full-blown Canadian toque. Thanks, brother.
You walked by a dude by that hunting blind you were at. Right?
Oh, well, you know,
It happens. Oh, you got boots, really? Yeah.
I got boots, but there's... Ooh, a pry bar. That's going to be helpful. Be more helpful if I could poop in this outhouse.
Yeah.
Of course, I should hold in the poop for warmth.
There you go.
Warm up soon.
Okay, I found the hat. We're going to put that toque on, or however you pronounce that.
That is correct. It is.
That is Canadian as hell cap if I've ever seen one.
Yeah. See about your boots as well.
They give me 33% more, or whatever the shit that is at the bottom. Or I lose 33%, but I gain wet.
No, their condition is only at 33%.
Yeah. I gain lots of wetness protection, even though I lose a little bit of warmth.
I would stick with the shoes then. Right now, warmth is going to be key. But you can repair items, so eventually you'll be able to fix those boots up, and then they should give you a massive advantage over those shoes.
Get wrecked, rabbit.
Could end up being useful.
And you broke your arrow. Great.
That's okay.
Well, you're eating tonight. That's good.
That's right.
Now, if you hit tab, look in the middle of your screen about 2/3 of the way, 3/4 of the way up.
You got three little things.
Yeah. So that is, you now smell, right? So you've got a dead animal on you and you now smell. But you don't smell that bad, but that's going to increase the range that predators sense you at.
It's not bad enough to drive away the chicks, but I could have a bear problem later.
Yeah, like if let's say a predator could, sense you at like 50 meters, now maybe it's 70, right? So you will notice, you won't notice it unless, you have a good idea of how, far away they sense you, but they will sense you a little sooner. One of the things that I found very weird about this game, it's not so much of a problem now because I've played so much of it. I think I've got like close to 700 hours at this point. But one of the things that shocked me is how easily I could get lost, or how I could be within like a very short distance to safety and just still feel like I was so far away. Like when you're walking around and you don't know the maps, and there are maps that you can use online and whatnot to like find your way around, but I don't think that they're a good way to go when you first start playing. Like, the benefit of this game is the discovery. When you play survival games, are you a hoarder?
I have no idea.
Do you pick up everything and anything, or is it right now you're doing it because
I'm
you're
just
just
trying
not
to
sure
get an
what you
idea.
need?
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Now your condition's still dropping, so you will once again need to find shelter pretty quick.
I need to be careful here because a log truck could run over me.
I don't think that's a huge concern, but you know.
Well, I'm not good at reading signs.
Yeah, but you never know. Maybe there's some sort of weird coding where 1 every 7 billion times someone walks past that sign, a log truck flies through.
Does our video quality and frame rate and all that seem legitimate on the stream? Are we doing okay there? I forgot to ask. Because yesterday was kind of a micro nightmare with video quality and getting the thing to stream right.
I like that you're holding your bow, but you don't have an arrow.
It's for my own personal sense of security.
Hold spacebar for a second, and then you should see an option for weapons.
So should I keep a rock in my hand to throw at wolves?
It's going to be more useful than a bow without an arrow.
Yeah, but now my exposed ass hand is standing out.
Yeah, that's one of the things that people ask a lot of the developers is why, when you're wearing gloves in the game, they don't show on your hands. And the reason is because it's basically how would you hold a bow with gloves on, basically, you know. Uh-oh.
Something just hurt me, and the guy said, "You gotta be careful. You're spraining your wrist."
Oh, that's sore.
Yeah, you're on. You see how in the bottom right there's that little hunk of cheese.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, and you sprained your ankle too. So basically, when you're on a slope like that, there's a chance that you could get a sprain. So you've got 2 sprains. Now, there's ways to combat that, such as bandages and painkillers, but you can also not worry about it, and then when you find shelter and go to sleep, it'll get rid of it. Someone has a question. Hey, does food stored on different region lose condition while visiting a different? Yes, it does. So if you store meat in like Coastal Highway, for example, and then you go to Mystery Lake, it's still gonna lose condition while you're gone. This game is also on sale right now, so there might be
Steam sale, very very nice discount. I believe it's down to $750 United States dollars, Freedom Bucks.
Freedom Bucks, yeah. I think it can go.
I don't know what it cost in Moose range. Nickels.
Yeah, we're probably around like 8 something right now. This is a game that I enjoy so much, and it is like I don't actually know personal friends that enjoy it as much as I do. I don't think it's not a lot of people do. But I like if somebody's like, oh, I'm interested in this game, I'll buy it for them on sale any time of the day. Just hoping that someone else will find a game that they love in it. And I'm gonna suggest that you keep going the way you're going.
Ouch! Damn, that smarts.
I've never had a sprained ankle affect my depth of field perception like this. This must be an intense sprain.
Now, if you follow that river, you want to know what happens?
You're gonna get wet.
You're not gonna get wet. Well, maybe you'll get wet. I don't know. It's possible. But you shouldn't. I think the only time you'll get wet is if you were to like end up in a lake or something.
There's always that chance in Canada when you're walking over the frozen lake that it's not frozen deep enough, and then you end up under the ice with a trout.
There's another We're still having our meat discussion in chat. So, depending on the difficulty level, the condition loss of items will change. Wait, that might not be right. Hang on.
You don't have to lie to the people in chat.
I don't feel so good.
I know that you can change how quickly items decay in the custom settings, so I assume, and it's an assumption, but I assume that the higher the difficulty level, the faster items will decay. So if you're playing on something like Pilgrim or Voyager, then the decay rate will be pretty slow. But if you left your meat outside in the snow, it's going to take a long time for it to lose condition. So, like, I've also left for a considerable amount of time and come back and it was fine. But it will lose condition.
I feel so good.
I have come back, and especially if it's outside, it'll last a long time. So you shouldn't have too much trouble. You could easily store meat outside on most difficulty levels and then leave for a considerable amount of time and come back and it'll be there. And still edible. The Canadian Meat Man.
Is that what they called you in high school?
Yes.
Hell yeah.
Worse things to be called, I guess, right?
Oh, for sure.
So, if you want to get rid of... Hang on. How low is your condition right now?
About halfway.
Halfway? Okay. You definitely... Once you find shelter, you're probably going to want to spend the night. One of the cool things about rocks in this game is that they can be used to move animals around. So if you throw a rock near a deer, it's just going to spook it and it'll run.
Damn, that's smart.
But if you were to come across one of your brethren, one of your wolves, and it didn't see you, you could throw a rock away from it and it would go investigate what that sound was.
So I'd be playing Splinter Cell with the wolves.
Yes.
Yeah,
Except
yeah.
you don't have unlimited rocks, of course.
Oh, that was a real tease from the side. It does have a stove in it, though, and a hatchet. You're going to want that hatchet.
You are going to want that hatchet. That is life. And it has firewood on the ground. If I were you, I would make a fire.
All right.
Just because you're getting warm up and then continue your journey after you warm up. Because right now, if you take a wrong direction, you may not have enough condition to survive. So if you look at your chance of success there was 60%, so you can see if it works or not. If it doesn't, I think you lose your match and you lose the tinder.
All right. But if I'd have poured the accelerant I found on there, my chance would have gone way high.
It would have gone up, but the accelerant is like, okay, now click on the fire because it's got a timer on it, and you don't want to. If you don't, just make sure you can. And once you click on it, you can see the options that you have.
I can cook with it, I can boil water, add more fuel, or make a torch from it.
So taking a torch will take 10 minutes off the fire. So usually, like, once you're done with the fire, if it's got like 30 minutes left, yeah, sure, take a torch, but for now, I wouldn't bother. You got 51 minutes. That's not bad.
You pick up some extra sticks and throw on there.
Yep. So this would be, as long as you stay close to this fire, like you'll warm up, and you'll see that you're warm. You're actually warming up right now. But as you walk away from it, you'll start to, and you'll stop losing condition, as long as you have something on each of those 4 bars at the bottom, or each of those 4 circles. You have water on you. You should have some. I believe the game would have given you some.
freezing. Ah, damn.
I'm in danger of frostbiting myself here, and we gotta get back to that fire.
Well, that fire's gone, man.
You mean it took me an hour and 58 minutes to knock that limb apart?
Each one of those limbs, I think, was 45 minutes, and you only had...
What?
Yeah. Actually, I don't know. How much time did you have on the fire? And you're below 10%.
Hour and 58 minutes.
I thought it was 115, but...
Well, either way, it shouldn't take an hour to break a limb into 2 pieces.
It's, those
Canadian limbs are
45.
tough.
Yeah. So I would use your accelerant now, if I were you, because you're near death, if I'm not mistaken.
It worked.
It worked.
And it should work quickly. And those fur limbs last for 2 hours, so I think that's what the gameplay mechanic is essentially. And you're gonna have a rough time moving now, because once you're below 10%, you just fall all over like a drunk. So once you get close to the fire, I would just stay there. Maybe you should be eating and drinking something if you can, because you need to get your condition back up. Are you literally just not able to sit still even when you stop?
It's just throws me away. If I don't touch the keyboard, it throws me away from the fire. Maybe if I face away from the fire, it'll throw me towards it. Nope, it just keeps moving away from the fire. No matter what direction I face. That's kind of an uncool mechanic.
Yeah, I'm not a fan. I don't go to 10% health very often, but when I do, it's not fun. Because you really don't... Like, this is the time when you need to be able to, like, control things in order to save your own life. Oh, but I guess if you open the fire... There you go, right? If you open the menu and just stay in the menu, you'll be alright. That doesn't help you eat or drink, but...
No, but...
Soon, I'm gonna faint.
So, you've got 2 hours and 45 minutes. Your fire temperature is getting high enough that it should be keeping you nice and warm. You healed your frostbite risk.
But I still have stupid legs.
Yeah. Go press F for a second. Hopefully that'll stop you from bouncing around as well. So on the left side, look at those are the categories of all the different items you have.
Mm-hmm.
So if you look at the one with the can, that'll be your food.
I'd eat anything
And
right
your
about
water.
now.
I'll eat that MRE I found in that random shack.
I would eat that for sure, because you're about to die. And I don't think you can open... Well, yeah, you can open that, but eat that. Oh, hopefully this doesn't get you sick. We'll see.
My eyeball meter is the one that's rough. I need to...
I don't feel so
That's
good.
sleeping.
So how do I...
Well, first you need water. So I would click on that thing right there. Oh, I don't know if you can make water. If you click on the top of the stove, if you ever get close to it again when you're bouncing around.
The cooking slot.
Yeah, but I don't think you have a can, do you? Do you have a can? They should have given you one.
Sorry, I have to fight my guy's allergic reaction to this fire.
Luchadora, this is day 1. This is about hour 6, maybe hour 7. There you go. Now, how long?
Just have to wait 18 more minutes.
If you click on the can, you should be able to pass time. I don't know if you'll live long enough to pass time, but...
It healed my pain.
Oh yeah, your pain will just naturally go away. So if you pass time until ready...
R.I.P.
Oh, you done? Did you die?
I wasn't able to survive 6 hours without water until I just killed myself out of... Oh, man.
So, the downfall was 100% the limbs. And it's pretty common for that to be... anytime you perform an action...
Yeah, my brother
outside,
once sprained his ankle and he was dead within hours.
Nah, it was the cold that got you for sure.
But laying next to the fire did not help the cold situation, which was kind of a boner.
Well, yeah, it didn't because, like you said, bouncing
If
around on
your
that
if
last
your wrist is
10%.
sprained, you can't absorb heat. That's just science.
So that was
Well,
what? How long did you survive?
0 days.
I was hoping it would give you an hour count, but it did not.
Well, I was awake for 8 hours. I was
There you go.
outdoors for
Hours.
7 hours.
Yeah. So you survived 8 hours.
I mean, yeah,
I can tell you that's better than some people do on their first run, man.
yeah. I mean, I also had that rabbit. It was in waiting. It's my sprained wrist gave me Ebola.
Yeah, your sprain didn't do anything to you. Your sprain was fine. You just it was those logs you cut up that killed you.
I made the bet that when I got back with the logs, I made the fire would warm me back up.
Yeah, and it would, but I think you just lost. You were low enough condition that once you went down to below 10%, it was a mess.
There's no coming back from that.
Yeah. It was gonna be.
They should rename 10 to 0 then.
Tough one. Yeah, really. I'm trying to think if I've ever. I think I've survived. I have survived below 10% before, a few times, but I didn't have to interact with a fire. I just had to get into my inventory to fix the problem that I had, which is easy, right? It's just a button. Whereas you had to basically try to click on burners and things like that as you were bouncing all over. Oh, this is a pretty cool start. You are ridiculously close to where you just died.
Hell yeah. We're back at it. This is officially attempt number 2.
This is so the railroad track in Mystery Lake is great. You can now use that as a marker, essentially. For pretty much the entire run that you just did, you were to your left. You were across that side of the tracks, so you haven't been to the right. And if you had found a building like this at any point, you probably would have been fine. This is one of the better buildings for loot.
I found a ThinkPad, but it won't let me interact with it.
Right. No
I think
games.
I can use this.
But there will be
Can
a lot
opener.
of loot in here. Can opener is good. You really want one of those. Do you like or dislike having to hold to search things?
It doesn't matter. I've played enough garbage console games in the last year that I've kind of gotten used to it. Got a furnace here. That's good.
Yeah, I don't know which one I prefer. I think that used to be that you just had to click it, but I can't remember. Games changed a lot over the years.
Excellent.
There we go. Grape soda. All right. This is already a better run.
Yeah, 10 times better because you're actually in a place that has considerable loot. So you're likely to find a few things here that are going to help you. Gloves. If you notice, you're wearing boots this time, which are better than the shoes that you had on.
What have we here?
So if I've got material, I can use this workbench to craft all sorts of cool shit.
Yes. And those items are usually considered end game stuff. Well, I don't know. I mean, if you're a good player, you can get those items pretty quick. There's something beside the bookshelf. I don't know if you saw it or not. On the floor.
Ooh, a magnifying glass so I can burn ants.
That is one of the most sought after items in the entire game because it does not lose condition. And when you get to higher difficulties, you're not going to have a problem with it because of the difficulty you're on. But when you get to higher difficulties, matches are very rare. So you have to basically wait for a sunny day and then go outside to start a fire.
Hope nobody needs this anymore. This'll come in handy.
Oh man, you're getting way better off than you did last time. I think you were at 7 degrees Fahrenheit warmth bonus last time, and now you're at 11. So you're already in better shape. That cooking pot's
That'll
good.
come in handy.
This game is actually on Kickstarter, I believe, is where it got its beginning. I didn't know about it then, so I wasn't a backer, but backers basically get to leave little notes and things like that in the game, and there's like cairns and whatnot that you can find that are collectibles. So what are your impressions of life in Canada so far? This is exactly what it's like. Everywhere.
Hopefully
Exactly.
one day the Canadian government will subsidize anti-aliasing for the people. I'm liking this so far.
Cool little thing. I think you just picked up a piece of charcoal.
Yep.
Hold your spacebar for a second. Just because anyone who's new that might be checking this out, at the bottom, navigation, I believe. You have to go back to the main thing. There you go, navigation. You can actually like use that piece of charcoal to draw a map. So some people just use maps they find on the internet that people have built if they want. But if you want the organic experience, you can draw your own map by finding charcoal in burnt out fires and use it that way. So it's kind of weird. It's only applicable, I would say, for newer players, because most people who play the game for a significant amount of time, they know the maps anyways. They don't need to look at one. I'm really upset that we haven't seen a wolf. I'm wondering if they're showing you respect and just not coming by.
It's possible. Maybe I can catch up to this train here and meet some hobos. Let's see, looks like it's running pretty smoothly here. I capped it down to 60 FPS so we'd have more CPU for the render, but it seems to be running perfectly smooth. Is this a Unity game?
I believe it is.
Yeah, it's got that feel.
I've always enjoyed, like, it's always felt pretty polished to me. I can't remember. I'm sure it's happened, but I can't remember ever finding a crash. The art style, I don't think it's too taxing. It's supposed to be like a painting, basically. That was the goal. There you go. Who are you?
Is it food or...
Nuts and stuff.
Yeah, another can opener.
Now I can akimbo the can openers.
Yeah. So this time...
So what are the chances that a sauced up, super drunk Albertan slides by on a snowmobile and yells a slur at me?
0.
Is that not a part of the Canadian experience?
Well, all the Canadians died in this.
Oh, okay. Yeah.
You're it. You're just you're an American in Canada now.
Uh-oh, fleece mittens.
You are the last Canadian.
Okay, maybe those aren't so good. We did find a flare, though. That's going to be fun to use on a wolf.
Yeah, actually it is. There is a knife on the ground, too. I don't know if you saw it or not. Oh, I didn't see the tools. Knife is life, just like the hatchet.
Mm-hmm.
Beautiful thing is that even now, if you're close to the railroad track, you're always going to have at least some idea of where shelter is.
Just want to lay down for a bit.
All right, so now that you have your warmth bar is at 0, you're back in the situation where you're going to want to...
Right.
But you saw how long it took your health to decay before. As long as you don't perform any actions outside that are going to take a long time, you'll be fine. Because you can kind of keep an eye on it, and it's just going to kind of tick away. But if you do something like try to cut up a big like log or something like that, then you're going to come back to like 20% of your health gone. Now the story mode does a little bit better at explaining the mechanics to you. But in the story mode, like they kind of they stop you from getting a gun until a certain point, whereas right now you can just get one whenever you find one. They stop you from getting a bow at all, I think, until through the first 2 episodes. So I thought it would be more interesting for you to actually be able to interact with all of the mechanics instead of like only experiencing 60% of them. Fun and all the soda.
At least when I die this time, I'll be all sugared up.
Yeah. Well,
the diabetes will take my foot before the frostbite does.
I'm gonna go out on a limb and say you don't die again today.
Don't put it past me.
No, it's possible, but you're in much better shape. Before, you were in a section of the map. Basically, if you went the direction of that log road that you just looked down, that's kind of where you were. And that section of the map is, if you don't know where you're going, you can go in circles. Like, I can still try to walk back to where I usually keep my base through that section of the map and get turned around. And it's weird because I don't know how big the map feels to you, but it's actually not very big. Like, you could probably walk from one end of the track to the very opposite end of the track in maybe like 3 minutes.
This looks like some serious business shelter up here.
Yep, it's Motherlode, man. I think that might be the biggest building in the game. I'm not too sure. It's close to it. It's in the running. That's loot heaven, by the way.
Looks like a giant dam.
It Now, the other thing this game has is there are transition zones. So you're on one map right now, but you still have access to all the other maps that you clicked through when you started your playthrough. So there's certain ways that you can basically, if you, they're not obvious necessarily, but if you walk, you can find them. You check the glove compartment?
No, I don't have time for that garbage. I got looting to do in here. Tomato soup.
I've always loved tomato soup, like an IRL love for tomato soup. So whenever I play this game, if I find tomato soup, I keep it for abnormal amounts of time until I have a reason to celebrate. Like if I'm camping outside after like a big hunt or something like that, I'll have hot tomato soup over a fire as a reward. It is my apocalypse comfort food.
Goddamn freezing.
Soda.
Soda's good because it, whereas water only gives you
This will come in handy.
part of your thirst back, soda will give you thirst and calories. So it's like doubling up.
Sardines.
Those look yummy. You like sardines for real?
In a pinch, they're okay.
I don't think I've ever had
still
them.
eat this.
See, now if you hadn't died, you'd have a pry bar. Could have opened that locker.
Wait,
That gate seems really dangerous. It opens violently.
You forgot to put a lock on it. This thing's a tetanus factory.
Yeah, it is. I am still shocked that you have not run into a wolf at this point. I don't think I've ever been back there. Game actually went through a big overhaul a couple years ago. This area, this dam used to be completely different, and the area outside was a lot cleaner, and now it's got clutter everywhere. Clutter is one of the things in the game I'm not a big fan of, especially like places that I decide to call home and make a base out of. You know, you see like a cup on the ground that you can't ever move. You just have this cup there forever. Oh, you got 20 Canadian bucks, you're rich.
Is it enough to buy a Bryan Adams CD?
Probably like 9 of them, actually. I don't know if there are 9 Bryan Adams CDs, but
Oh, yeah.
you probably know more Bryan Adams than I do, though.
Yeah, he's a national treasure.
I could use this.
Hopefully I find some nudes in one of these filing cabinets.
I don't think that's gonna happen.
You're telling me the guys out here in the Canadian wilderness working at this dam weren't looking at nudie pictures while they were on the clock?
That'll come in handy.
I think what happened is overly religious Canadians came after and cleaned it all
Oh
up.
no.
Probably Albertans. What time of day is it we're in there? I never did look at that. It looks like it's getting a little... Is it getting dark?
Mid to late afternoon.
Okay. Yeah, you got time. So I would say, based on the size of this building that you're in, you are probably spending the night here. Unless you feel like walking around in the dark. I'm going to show you a necessary trick in a minute. Once you go into the bathroom.
That's right, there's that water source, boy.
Yep.
Take it all.
Yep.
This is just me. Army of Techno, aka Man with the Briefcase. What's up and welcome to the stream.
This is good. Yeah, this is
This is good content here. This is how we reach across the aisle to our friends from the north. Drink this toilet water the entire stream.
You should take a drink. I don't know what your thirst is at, but it might hurt you.
Yeah, I mean,
One
we
thing
have
that-
all this soda, but I'd rather drink this toilet water.
Well, the soda's not bad either, and the reason it's back in the last stall you checked, there was a bullet on the ground. You might want to grab it. The soda's good because of the weight.
end up being
right?
useful.
The soda actually weighs quite a bit. So by drinking it, you're going to allow yourself to carry more, because you do have a carry weight that you can't go over. Well, you can go over it, but it
Are
instantly
you
just
telling
causes
me
you
that
to die.
soda weighs more than toilet water? The
Yes.
science doesn't add up on that.
Well, the can, kind of.
Are Canadian soda cans made of lead?
They might be.
Look at this. We've just been showered in nuggets. Man with the briefcase just hit us with a Twitch nugget bukkake. He is the new top boy of the stream, knocking Graceless Dragon down to second place. And Slayer Bill is our new power bottom. Suck it, Slayer Bill.
I think what it is that the amount of thirst you get back from soda is not as much as the same weight in water. That might be it. There's a reason, but anyways, drinking your soda first is
How long until I find the Labatt Blue?
you're going to be upset.
There's our fire source.
Take a very good look under all of the stairs in this room, because there could be a firearm. And if we're gonna do stereotypes, you're probably gonna want a firearm, right?
Mm-hmm. To shoot those crazy snowmobile hooligans
Yeah, exactly. Well,
from Edmonton.
Edmonton. They are nuts in Edmonton. Molson? No.
They just drink paint thinner.
In Edmonton?
Yeah, and complain about how no one respects the Oilers.
Well, that is a true statement, but
It's true, but it doesn't excuse their behavior.
that's also true. You have to be accountable.
Slayer Bill, what's up? Yeah, his favorite position is to be the power bottom, so that worked out for everybody.
There can be a gun under those stairs nearby. At the end of the night. I don't know if there will be again.
Spoilers, you were right. Also, more grape soda, which is even more important than that hunting rifle.
Oh, I was right. All right, now you're in business. Okay, so you're now over your carry capacity. I think that's why you
So
have a
we're just
sprain.
gonna have to we have a sprain. I didn't even tell. I have to
Well,
drink some of this soda.
one thing I would do is see at the bottom you have the sort A to Z, and then you have the star.
Mm-hmm.
I would
I'm gonna have
sort
to
by the
leave
star
something
because that's a
behind.
condition. That's just my personal preference.
Just
But you
go
can
through my
also,
low class shit first.
yeah, I would just
Yeah.
go by category. So start on the first one, which is like fire, I think, or something. Because if you've picked up a lot of papers, you can get rid of those papers for the most part. You don't need.
I think it's like the 75 pounds of grape soda I'm carrying.
It
Also,
could
I'm
be
carrying
that.
7 pounds of toilet water, so I need to cook that and drink it sooner than later.
No, it's good. You don't have to cook it. It's cooked. You're good.
Oh, toilet water is pre-cooked by someone's butt.
Yep, it is.
All right,
You're fine.
I can dig that.
The color of the water in your inventory will be dirty when you can't drink it. You can still drink it. You're just gonna get sick from it. Just like you could eat raw meat, but you're probably not gonna want it. Wow, you're actually losing. Wow, you're losing warmth inside here. That's very odd.
Must be cold as hell.
Yeah, well, it looks like there's an open window.
Well, you have that fire barrel down there. I can always heat this room up.
You can.
So that bedroll I found, does that mean I can just kind of lay anywhere that's got room?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
So if I put 7 to 8 hours worth of kindling in that barrel and then lay next to it, am I legit for the night?
Yeah.
All right. Good thing I found
not
those
to mention,
saltines up there.
You're gonna get a warmth bonus from sleeping in the bedroll. So the bedroll might give you 3 or 4 degrees or 5 or 6 degrees. I don't know. It depends on the bedroll and the condition and whatnot. But so sleeping inside of a bedroll is going to give you a little bit of a bonus as well. So what you'll want to do, and I'll show you once you decide to lay down,
Needs this anymore.
is you're going to want to see like where the temperature is now, and then you can kind of decide if you want to bother with the fire or not.
Well, my first goal here is to get down off of these rafters without breaking my legs.
Yep.
I'm assuming falling here is not going to be good for business.
There, you can take a fall. There's one place you can jump down from here without taking the stairs, but if you go straight from balcony to floor, that might be too far. Now, there is an entire part of the dam you haven't looked through yet, but I would just do that in the morning if I were you.
Mm-hmm.
And it's kind of like that exit door that you were looking at a minute ago. Fun story. There used to be, you're safe. There used to be a possibility of a wolf spawning in here called Fluffy. And Fluffy was a female wolf, and when you didn't know, when you played for the first time and you came in here and met Fluffy, it was absolutely terrifying. Because you're stuck in a building with a wolf.
The problem is, I didn't bring any wood in here with me, so I'm going to have to break down a pallet or something, but I don't have a hatchet, which is not good.
Well, you've got wood on the ground.
I do.
Not much.
Oh yeah, there's some reclaimed wood. Lord knows, I love to burn books. That's probably my favorite thing to do in real life.
I don't... Can you press F and let me look at your temperature for a second?
I am freezing. I have risk of hypothermia.
Yeah, I just want to know freezing by how much. Oh. It feels like 29. What is it? Is 30... What is the freezing for you guys? 32?
Yeah, 32.
So you're 3 degrees under, right? So if you were to put your bedroll on the ground and then click on it, it'll tell you what the warmth bonus will be.
Mm-hmm.
You may not need a fire for the night. So you can use your radio wheel. Plus, if you wear Canadian toque, there you go. And I think you have. Oh yeah, I don't think you can wear that. So you're at 13 right now. Adding that toque would have helped as well. So you might be perfectly fine just to lay down on a bedroll. It's a bit of a roll of the dice. You're burning Canadian money.
Come on.
You got to do what you got to do.
Lucci, you cannot win. No, you will die. There is no way to avoid it.
Looks like it worked.
That being said, there are players that have played on the highest difficulty level and survived. You only got 13 minutes on that fire, so keep an eye on that. But there's players that have played on the highest difficulty level, which is Interloper, and survived for 10 years in-game. So you can, while it's not possible to survive infinitely, I don't believe, I also could never imagine surviving for 10 years in-game. Like, I would lose interest in what I was doing at that point and start over again just so I could see loot, because the loot's finite. There's no, it doesn't respawn. Sticks will respawn in the ground, branches will respawn, animals will respawn, but when you pick up a book or painkillers or a can of something, that's it. It's gone forever. So once you loot a map, there's nothing to do. So in the early game, you kind of do what we're doing here, which is you drink soda and you know, use your can opener and open your cans and eat it and everything else. But as you get to, like, I would say beyond the first couple months, which is, you know, maybe 60, 90 days, that kind of stuff starts to run really thin. Now you've got to hunt. Now you have to boil water. You have to, you know, find warmer clothes because the temperature does drop over time. I believe it drops over time in this mode as well, but very slowly. So it's only going to get colder in the world, and the animals are going to get less and less, and that basically the game just keeps moving towards trying to make it more difficult to live. You got 2 bedrolls. How much fire time did you have?
Currently 2 hours, 40 minutes.
Do you have anything on you can cook?
Yeah, but I just ate saltines until my stomach filled up.
Nice.
I guess I can't burn my socks. Well, that would probably be stupid, but...
Yeah, that would not be smart. Go to press F again. Well, I mean, it's not going to do any good now because it's going to be crazy. You're going to be warm as hell. So you've got a sprain risk. You're not sprained, though. You're not going to sprain yourself walking around, I don't think. Probably won't. Your warmth is full. You're pretty tired. Those are all things that you can craft in your inventory. If I were you, I would break down one of those bedrolls, whichever one sucks. But maybe not now. Like, you could just drop it because honestly, you don't need to, and one of them is going to be too. So you're going to sleep for an hour, huh?
I'm just being stupid.
No,
To see what
actually,
this did to my what it did to my shit. So it's 81 degrees here. Feels like 94.
But when you click on the bedroll, what warmth bonus does it give you?
Warmth bonus of 4 degrees, 4.8 degrees.
So when you, before the fire was on, you were 3 degrees below freezing, right?
Mm-hmm.
But the bedroll gives you 4.
The bed would have got me through the night on its own.
Which is, yes, maybe, but you're also dealing with, right now, it's probably like 9 o'clock at night, something like that. By the time it reaches 6 in the morning, the temperature outside could drop far enough that the temperature inside could drop far enough. But it's going to take you a long time to freeze to death, especially at that rate, because you're really only 1 or 2 degrees under. So you're going to live through the night for sure. But you're actually being very, very smart, because a lot of players will go outside, they're freezing, They jump in their bedroll and they try to sleep for 8 hours because they look at the temperature and it's like, oh, I'm fine. I'm going to sleep for 8 hours. And it gets colder and they die in their sleep. The game won't wake you up. It just lets you die. So by sleeping for 2 hours at a time, you give yourself the opportunity to see like, oh, I'm losing condition. I can't sleep anymore. That should be going up as well because everything is full. So when you go to sleep, and you could probably sleep right now if you wanted to, you could probably sleep for like 6 hours, maybe like 8 hours. And I think you would live. I would give you the advice that you could pull that off. Never heard of it, huh? It is very good. It's not for everybody though, for sure. Like it is an acquired taste. If you equip that, you should be able to. There you go. Now, the game is so detailed that even that right there gives you a warmth bonus.
Mm-hmm.
It is a survival game, Mob, but it's a little different in that a lot of survival games have some sort of a crazy X factor. Like you think about DayZ, you know, it's got zombies and whatnot. This game is really just about you and the elements. There is hostile wildlife, but it's not. For the most part, it's just really the things that are going to kill you are the cold and the hunger and things like that. So it's kind of just it's really just like being lost in the woods simulator. You harvest the one you weren't wearing, right?
Well, we'll find out sooner or later, right? Oh, I'm still good.
Yep. So yeah, you're good. And you can only wear one anyway, so smart. You're doing pretty well. You're doing much better than you were last run. A game about your people. What do you mean?
Welcome to the stream, System Era Softworks, Adam, aka Chatty User Eonix, creator of Astro Near is here. He's full-blown Canadian. I don't like him as a person, but we tolerate him here.
Oh, okay. Well, I'm also Canadian, so
yeah, I feel like I'm getting Eiffel Towered by you guys right now.
Yeah.
Yeah. For another couple hours, you know, who cares? Whatever.
Pig roasted over here. I talked Chris into playing this game. Pretty happy about that. We'll see. I don't think it's his cup of tea yet. We'll see.
We're just surviving.
It definitely gets. There's gonna be there's this part of you which I think exists in a lot of games where you're gonna be like, I want the good stuff now, right? Like I want the clothing, or I want good items.
That's what my bank card is for.
There you go. No microtransactions here.
I still have an affliction of spraining risk despite being fully rested. And
okay, that's because you're encumbered.
No, I need to unencumber by drinking more toilet water. So let's sort by weight and find out what's heavy. The gun's heavy.
Drop your
Let's drop a stoner. Let's drop a stone or two.
You also have an extra bedroll you don't need. Harvesting it won't save you any weight though, because you're gonna get 10 cloth.
I don't want to be the cloth lord.
That's fine. Cloth is very valuable.
Definitely drop one of these 2 can openers.
You sure can. You don't need to.
That's a half pound. Drop one of these
close.
3rd pound recycled cans. What in the hell? Canadian cans are made out of lead.
How many cans do you have?
I had 2, so I dropped one.
You only need one. You only need one. Because you have.
So
you also
the light
have
has turned green.
You also have the pot, the cooking pot, which is better than the can anyway. It's heavier, but you don't need more than that.
Let's drink some more of that toilet water.
Oh, you can drop, if you go to your first aid tab, you can almost certainly drop at least 2 of those disinfectants.
Doesn't matter. Drinking the toilet water removed my sprain risk.
Is that the takeaway here?
That's exactly what just happened, and you're not going to tell me any different. We go back and rewind the VOD and look. I'm well rested. I keep drinking water out of the toilet, and now I'm in better shape than I ever was.
Yep, that's true.
We are no longer encumbered here. We're at 64.99 of 66. The joke's on you. Science backs up what I'm saying.
Until you pick up 1 stick, and then that's it.
Well, you're a hater.
Yeah, that's true. I am a hater.
So we're holding lots of antiseptic.
Yeah. You get 5 uses out of each one, so you could get rid of 2 of those, and then.
I'm just gonna drink it.
I don't think I've ever gone. I wouldn't do that.
No, too late. Drank it. Now even less encumbered.
There you go.
That was a pound and a half worth of. Well, kind
I
of.
don't think you're drinking it though. I think you're applying it.
Just pouring it on my genitals.
Yeah. Because
that's what you have to do. Wolves always. Well, you don't know that for sure.
I mean, I've been bitten by a few in this game.
All right, let's see. Go back to the old bedroll.
One of the things that you won't be able to sleep once you are once you're not tired anymore.
But I can pass the time.
Sure can. Oh, there you go. You got light. You can get up now. You can go scrounging through the rest of the dam. You survived the night, sir. That is... You might want to load that gun.
No.
You're just gonna...
You don't walk around with a loaded firearm. That's not very safe.
Well, see, now in Canada, it's actually required.
But you assured me there would be no crazy Albertans that would be coming at me with a jet ski or whatever they ride. The snow jet skis, a.k.a. snowmobiles.
The snow jet skis?
All right. So
maybe
we
that'll
found...
be a future DLC.
We found a broken arrow. Also, we found a dead man. He took his beef jerky and his Nikes and more antiseptic. You called it. It was coming.
And you're encumbered again.
And we got an extra stormliner we don't need. We just need the fuel.
You can harvest it. I don't think you can get the fuel out of it in any other way but harvesting it.
Okay, well.
Something's got to go.
Something's got to go. The one that we picked up is a lot better shape than the one. Oh, actions. You only get scrap metal out of it.
No, you'll get the fuel.
You do?
Actually, how much fuel do you have right now? Because I say that, but I'm not confident anymore.
We have 0.8 out of 132 worth of our jerry can. We could refuel this lantern.
I mean in your inventory. Okay, yeah, you got 0.8 too? Okay. Yeah, I guess harvest it and see. I actually don't remember now, but I would have... You've got 0.72 gallons of fuel sitting right there. This will take an hour, which is a fine because it's cold.
We did get the fuel out of it.
You did? Okay, cool. It just didn't say that you would. Good enough. I would have, that would have been a strongly worded letter to the devs, right?
Well, I can't read or write, so...
Right.
They'd have me on that one.
I can always use more food.
Nuts and stuff. I can't wait to get all that in my mouth.
Nuts and stuff?
Nuts and stuff are pretty cool. It's a weird looking microwave.
It's a toaster oven.
Yeah, well, it said microwave.
Well,
Canadians.
it's a microwave. It looks like a toaster oven.
I better take this food.
I actually dig how
Peaches.
it's stereotypically Canadian game. Moose kicks coffee.
Well, everyone wants to feel represented, you know, so. Too long, media has catered to the white American male. It's time for others to be included.
So now we're gonna cater to
To
Canadian male?
the white Canadian male. It's a step.
It's a short step.
Things are starting to get Chernobyl as all hell down here.
Yep. Yeah, this doesn't look like a very good place to be, does it? I assure you there's no danger down here right now.
When the hell do they have all these wooden crates here just thrown all over the place?
Yep.
Did the plane hit this thing?
You recently walked over top of a knife. On the floor.
Should I akimbo the knives?
I could use this.
Yeah, if you could, but you should take it because it's one of those things that its condition will eventually run out, and if you don't have another one, I mean, you can sharpen them to keep your condition up, but everything is finite, so eventually you'll run out of whetstones and yada yada yada. Eventually, if you live long enough, which I don't anticipate that being an issue, but if you do, you will run out of things. Now that you have that gun, we need to go find some predators.
I can't get the Encarta CD out of this desktop.
The AOL installation.
The
Disk.
AOL disk.
Remember when those used to just be sitting like next to cash registers everywhere you bought anything?
Mm-hmm. So we have a line and we have a hook. We should get in the fishing game at some point.
You have what, sorry?
So I have a line,
Yeah.
but I don't. If I make a hook out of it, do I need anything more than line and a hook to make fishing
I don't
happen?
think so. No, I don't think so. I think you can make it. You might have to find a workbench, but you're at one, so
Right.
you should be able to make a fishing hook and go fishing once you find a place to go fishing. So that's on higher difficulties. There's no gun, there's no hatchet, there's no knife, so you actually have to make
Make all your own tools.
stuff. Yeah.
Oh, here's a
It
Canadian
gets pretty
flag.
intense. You cannot rip
Land
up and
fuel.
burn the Canadian flag, of
Could be
course.
useful.
We would never allow it. And on higher difficulties, torches are life because, as we talked about, matches are very rare on higher difficulties. So you might find a box of matches, but you might only find one. And if that has like 12 matches in it, then you can only start 12 fires. So what people do is they'll start a fire and they'll get it going for like 6 or 7 hours. And they'll take a bunch of torches out of the fire, and you lose 10 minutes on the fire every torch you take, but you can chain the torches together. So you can light a fire with a torch, so if it fails, you don't lose the match because the torch is still lit. So you can try again, right? You can use one match to essentially light, your next 3 or 4 fires if you need to. Just by every time a torch dies, you throw it on the ground and you light the next torch off of it and just keep chaining them together. It's actually way too stressful for me. I don't play on a difficulty that high that I would ever have to bother with that nonsense, but it's interesting.
Snapple wants to know, does this
like how
game
you
have a
pick up that
narrative,
hat.
or is just a survival game?
So it does have a narrative, but this is the survival mode. The narrative, there is a story mode. It's 5 episodes long, but currently we're only looking at
Thank
the
goodness.
first 2 episodes are in the game and complete. It's probably in the, I said 5, but it's more likely 10 to 15 hours, the story mode at the current time. And then also the survival sandbox, which is just open always. And it's, although they keep adding regions, and they are going to add more regions as they go, and more different mechanics and things like that. It's as, for all purposes, it's complete in the sense that it's fully fleshed out. You can enjoy it.
I think I can use this.
There's also challenges in the game. So for one of the challenges is to survive 3 days at 15 different locations in the game. Another one is to basically outrun a mean bear. One of them is to travel across the map in 72 hours to, fire a flare and try and, get rescued or something like that. So there are more focused experiences in the game, but what we're playing right now, the only narrative is whatever you make up in your mind. So at the moment, I think we are avoiding crazy Albertans. I actually personally struggle with the end game and keeping myself entertained, because when I talk about the end game, I mean if I get like 30 hours into a run, and I have all the gear and I've got lots of food and I'm warm and I've looted everything and I don't have a lot of threats to worry about, I get bored. Like, what am I gonna do? I just get up in a day and do what? Walk over there and pick up some sticks.
This will come in handy.
So I've developed a series of personal objectives that I use to try to keep myself entertained in the game. So one of them will be, I'll go to one of the maps that doesn't have shelter at all. There's no indoor locations whatsoever, and I'll force myself to survive there for like 30 days or something. And then I'll go do it somewhere else. Just something that keeps me engaged and entertained, because if I don't, then you just kind of wake up, drink some water, eat some food, pass time, go to bed.
Darren Nexus, thanks for the follow. It's always appreciated. Hope you're enjoying this aggressively Canadian stream today.
So you've explored the entire dam. What's next?
So, I haven't had this answered since I've been in here, but, is this a goddamn?
Is it a what?
Mm-hmm.
Uh-huh. Actually, you haven't explored the entire dam. You're missing something up in the top floors. Yeah. I don't know how to answer that for you. You also
Yeah, that
avoided
control room needs to be explored. I gotta figure out how to get in there.
Yeah, and then even above, a level above that too. There's another level above that. You missed, I believe. It is actually fairly new to the game. When I say fairly new, it's like, when the game hit 1.0. That's a DLC. The Apology DLC. $4.99 Canadian.
I could use this.
That thing right there that you just picked up, that stim,
Mm-hmm.
that saves your life in the previous run.
Nice.
Stick it in your heart, and then you would have a short period of time where you would not be stumbling around like an idiot, and you could basically like use that time to get yourself. You're firing a lot of horse. Get yourself situated.
It's like a dick pill for your heart.
Yeah, but once it wears off, you're in a lot of trouble. So you've basically got to have yourself sorted out where you can just you can lay down and go to sleep. Stub toe DLC. Yeah. You're not going for the safe?
Had a lock on it.
Did it really?
Mm-hmm.
I would
Well, it
try
wouldn't
again.
be a safe worth of shit if it didn't.
I would try again though, if you're interested. Might be something good in there too. I don't know. Actually, there can be something good in there. I don't have the stream sound on because otherwise I get you twice. Are you actually hearing the click?
Yes. And I reset it. It's like at 6 or 7.
There's one.
So it's at 6 and then 15 and then 30 something. So you don't have to be turned over twice. That's weird.
No, I don't think so. I think it's just back and...
Could end up being useful.
Oh, hey, Canadian money that we can burn. And a flashlight.
Wow, so oh, that's cool. Flashlight's rifle round. Sometimes there can be a pistol in there. Not a pistol.
Alright, we need to drop some of this shit here. Let's sort by weight. We got too much extra lantern.
You're maintaining your warmth too, so your the extra clothes you found seem to
That
help.
guy who drank his own pee doesn't seem so crazy right now.
Probably don't need that many flares. You have a gun. So whatever, like flares are good, but you also have a lantern and a crap ton of fuel. You could probably lose a couple of those and not be too worried. I usually don't use flares, I use torches instead. I like how your stone pile keeps getting lower.
We'll finally eat some of this nuts and stuff.
If you're thirsty, drink the soda. It's over a half a pound a piece. What is Wayne
My
doing
guy-
so much?
I mean, it's soda, but I don't know.
You don't want to drop
if-
the soda, that's for sure.
Too much
Go to-
doubled up clothing.
Go to you could easily drop one pair of those, one pair of the shoes, because you're never gonna go back to shoes once you find good boots. So,
Got too many hats.
Yeah, the baseball hat is junk. You don't want that. Like, it's all cloth too, but at the end of the day, you know, you're gonna find enough cloth. You could probably drop those at least. What about the tab at the very bottom on the left side? Well, you've also got a crap ton of that stuff. What's in there? So you got 19 pieces of cloth. That's over 4 pounds. Probably keep like 10 of them or something. Yeah, that's good. You're getting there. Once you find a place to kind of where you decide like, oh, I'm going to use this as a home base, then you can store stuff there. It won't disappear, and then you'll be able to not walk around with so much crap. But as long as you're walking around, you're going to have a lot of stuff on you. And even where you drop that stuff on the floor, like, it'll stay there. You can come back and get it later, if you so decide.
What have we here?
I don't think you can wear that in place of what you have now. I'm not sure. If I recall correctly, it goes in the same slot as what you're wearing. Yeah. You really didn't find anything in there.
I think I can use this.
This looks like a depressing place to work in this game, too. Once you decide to make water, or need to make water, you now, because you have those purification tablets, you don't have to melt and boil the water, and just melt it, and then use the purification tablets. It'll save you time.
Rubik XYC, thanks for the follow. It's always appreciated.
This'll come in handy.
One of the things that I find now that I'm actually, oh, that's cool. Now that I've played the game enough, is that I actually get stressed out more when I play on lower difficulty levels because there's so much of it, and you're even seeing it right now, where it seems silly to leave something behind, like disinfectant or painkillers, when you're certain you're going to need that at some point, but you have so much of it that you just can't carry anything. And if you do any amount of looting in, 2 or 3 buildings, you're going to be encumbered, and then you've got to carry all this crap around. So I actually prefer playing on a custom difficulty where I get a lot less loot and have to rely more on like end game stuff like bows and crafted materials.
Wonder if this is any good to eat. Hope I can still eat this.
Snapple, I don't know that there are zombies in this, but I could be wrong.
When do zombies attack? No zombies. There is something that can happen at night called an aurora. And the idea behind the game is that, what I believe it said, like a geometric storm or something event knocks your plane out of the air and your plane crashes, and that's how you find yourself in the wilderness. So because typically wolves and even bears almost all the time are not hostile towards people, so in order to sort of make there be like a wildlife danger to the game, the idea is that whatever this event was, this geometric event, it affected the behavior of the animals and made them more aggressive, to sort of like explain why wolves would attack people, which they wouldn't normally do. So that's kind of the basis behind what's happening here. But also, when the aurora hits at night, it will actually light up the sky, and different electronic devices in the game world will start to activate. Like the radio will start to play and the lights will come on and things like that, and the computers will actually activate so you can read like lore and whatnot on the laptops and stuff that you see around. And when you do that, when you go outside at night and the auroras hit, the wolves are actually like as close to a zombie as you could get. They're kind of like their eyes are lit up, a little more aggressive. And the flashlight you found actually only works during the aurora. But once the aurora hits, you can walk around with a flashlight on outside. I don't go out at night though, so I never see the aurora. Nighttime can be second. All right. Where to?
That's a good question.
I would probably have to stop playing this game if zombies attack. You look like you're moving pretty slow. You must be encumbered again, huh?
Oh yeah, heavily encumbered.
What you could do, what I would think would be wise, would be to follow the tracks back to that big building you found.
Camp there for the night and then figure out what I'm gonna do.
Yeah, dump off your crap, right? Like, you that way you can keep a bunch of stuff, like stashed in the containers there. But then you can go back out without being encumbered. You know, you don't just leave it laying on the floor kind of thing. Because that place, the camp office that you found initially when you first spawned, is actually one of the more popular base options in the game here. Somebody said, "What a pretty wolf." I had to translate it, but that's what it said.
Why, thank you. Is that AI Crag 699? Muchas gracias.
With a cigar was the second part. What a pretty wolf with a cigar.
Yeah, this is just a regular old cowboy killer.
Since this is I think this is the first time I've been on the stream. What do you use to get that wolf set up, or is that part of the magic trick that we're not allowed?
It's part of the magic trick, but if you want to wolf out on your own, there's an app on Steam that's currently a part of the sale called Face Rig.
Okay.
And it will take webcam data and it will overlay a 3D model on it. They have several to choose from. You can pick 2D stuff or whatever. And it matches all the points of your face and it turns it into a 3D object.
Okay. So then when you're actually streaming, your webcam's on, but it's basically replacing...
Exactly.
Yeah.
Although I am a wolf, I'm a wolf that I'm just making my fur thicker.
Right. You're just,
Yeah. Actually, I think the very first stream we did, I didn't intend to start streaming, it just kind of happened. One day we had a promoted stream that had to be done for a aggressively Korean anime game.
Right.
And I wasn't super comfortable with putting my own mug out there at the time. And I had this program from a while back because me and my friends had bought it when we found out you could turn yourself into a cheeseburger.
Okay.
And so naturally, I was, tried that out. It was going to be a cheeseburger, but it made no sense. And since there's like 12,000 anime girls on the Steam Workshop for it, I picked one. And did that stream as an anime, or whatever the hell you're supposed to call them.
Right.
And it kind of went from there.
Nice. You, does that program have a bear?
I don't know. I didn't really look too deep into it. Once I figured out the animes couldn't smoke cigarettes, those were kind of disqualified. And then that's how we ended up here.
Yeah, I dig it, and it's especially relevant for this game.
Oh yeah.
Like people who are just tuning in that don't watch the stream, or maybe are just discovering it, are gonna think, like, especially if they know the Long Dark, they're gonna be like, "Oh, cool, he's doing this because he's playing the Long Dark." No, this is normal. This is the stream.
We were doing a Far Cry New Dawn stream, and I thought I was shooting a deer, and it turned out to be a wolf, and I completely broke down.
And you what, sorry?
I completely broke down emotionally.
Yeah, I can see that. It's going to be interesting when you have to deal with those circumstances in this game. I also figured out why you haven't. I found out why you haven't. I just realized why you haven't encountered any hostile wildlife. I believe that on your current difficulty level, you get a 24-hour grace period before they spawn. So you're beyond that now, I believe. So my expectation is that you're probably like, there could be hostile wildlife literally anywhere at the moment. I know where they spawn. I'm not going to say it, but I can tell you that Mystery Lake is known for having a few wolves. They don't really. I don't think they have a pack mentality yet, though. I'm wondering if they're gonna have that because I think that would be very cool.
Iserbert, is that how you say that? Thank you for the follow. I'm sorry that I butcher everybody's names because I don't know how to read.
I'm going to say that is Iserbert, just based off the Canadian hockey legend, Yzerman.
Stevie Yzerman, Tampa Bay Lightning legend, Red Wings legend.
Yep.
Who else did he play for?
That's it. Red Wings.
Well,
only.
there you go.
He played for the Red Wings his entire career. Then he was hired as...
Front office.
Yeah, and then built an incredible team in Tampa, and then
Tampa
bugger
Bay
off.
has always been known for its ice hockey.
Right? They have a really good team, though.
Just need to close
And then
my
he just
eyes.
went back to Detroit. And now he's going to build a good team there, I assume. I know we're getting ahead of ourselves, but sometime you're going to have to take me into some multiplayer Call of the Wild.
Yeah, I mean, maybe that can happen today, depending on how things go here. I haven't set that up for stream yet, but as far as I know, that runs on the Apex engine, which I believe is friendly to OBS and the setup we've got, so it
Right.
shouldn't be too tough to pivot if need be.
Right.
Worst case scenario, we can drive our ATVs into each other.
See, I've never tried the multiplayer.
It's pretty sweet and unfair to the animals.
I've been running around just solo person, just enjoying it, like trying new things and testing it out. I've been reading on the wiki and whatnot, learning about like just the different kind of the weapons and how they work, hunting different species and whatnot. I basically bought every DLC it had, except I didn't buy all the new locations. I bought like one of them. I think I bought Yukon, which just came out yesterday or something. But it's really chill. I am a huge fan, and this is part of the reason I like this game, is I really enjoy the quiet moments in exploration. I'm not... Sometimes the Far Cry games and whatnot can get a little bit too intense for me because it's almost like Ubisoft tries not to let there be too much downtime. Like they don't want you to get bored.
They're afraid of there not being a square footage of map space that's not loaded with 7 things.
Right. Whereas I love having... I want like almost the peacefulness of this. Like I could play this game for hours on end because I can just wander around quietly and there's no noise and there's no objectives, and that's what I love about this game. The fact that there's no objectives is one of my favorite things. And I'm a fairly active member when I'm playing, not when I'm not playing. When I'm playing, I'm a fairly active member of the subreddit, and we'll always get people coming in there and saying, wait a minute, there's no missions? This is stupid, I'm not playing this anymore. And my response is, it's just not the game for you. If that's kind of like your take on it, is like, you're not holding my hand, you're not telling me what to do, when to do it, where to go. Well, it's totally cool, but it's not something you're going to enjoy.
Alright, let's gonna be some drawers around here somewhere I can start stuffing shit into. Maybe upstairs.
One of the counters. There's 2 counters.
Oh yeah, the filing cabinets.
And there's also upstairs, there's dressers and whatnot. So. Yeah, you only need 1 knife. That knife's going to take a long time to run out of juice. You also probably don't need most of that fuel because you have... I would keep the bullets, but not the book. If you find a pistol, that's going to be money in the bank.
Yeah.
You could probably put the tools away. That's 2.2 pounds you don't need to carry. 800 sodas. What you want to make sure is that you have about 700 to 800 calories on you for nighttime. So no matter what, you're going to live. If you wake up in the morning and an hour after you wake up, your calorie count in your body gets to 0, you're going to live all day. No problem. You're not going to die. And then if you eat 700 to 800 calories at night, you're going to recover condition during the night, and you're going to wake up again the next day full condition, but then an hour or 2 after you wake up, you'll hit calorie count 0 again.
How on earth? How
Sorry?
does how do 23 matches weigh a half pound?
You broke up there for a second. What did you say?
How do 23 matches weigh nearly a half a pound?
Canadian matches, maybe?
Canadian matches.
But yeah, if you have 700 calories on you, you can essentially live for about 48 hours without any trouble at all. So you can not worry too much about carrying really heavy food on you. Oh, and by the way, you're super tired right now, I think.
Yeah, I'm getting ready to make a fire and lay down.
You won't need to make a fire in here.
Oh, okay. Well, that'll be good.
Definitely not. This place will be warm. The dam I can understand. You know, that I get why that's cold, but this place has got no open windows or anything, so.
Evil Space Monkey, we haven't found tacos yet, but I'm not going to rule it out. So that file cabinet is full as all hell. So we still have some extra weight, but not as bad as it was.
Yeah.
Of course, sleeping encumbered is not going to hurt us.
Not at all. No, won't hurt you at all.
Alright. Let's get the old bedroll.
He is not playing Interloper, Evil Space Monkey. I would not allow it on his first run. Although it would have been hilarious for 4 minutes until he died. Oh, hey, don't do that. Go upstairs.
Because there's a bed up there.
There is a bed up there. And it's probably warmer than your bedroll, to be honest with you. I think it's even bunk beds. As long as you don't mind sleeping in the same room as a dead guy.
No, that's fine. Is there an option to play with myself?
No.
Well, that kind of takes some of the fun out of it.
See, it's an American game. Then maybe. But not a Canadian game. Yeah, I think his bedroll's at about 80%. Yeah, it's his first run, Evil Space Monkey, so I've been a fan for a very long time of Long Dark. I keep telling everybody in the world it's the best game ever and trying to get them to play it. Nobody would, but
I could eat anything right
this
now.
gentleman has agreed to play it because, you know, it's fun to stream a new game that you haven't tried where you're probably going to die. And he wanted to play Canada Simulator, so that's what we're doing. This run, he's died once, which was just the typical learning experience, you know, just trying to chop up logs outside and, you know, with not enough condition and not enough warm clothing. It's a Voyager run. Didn't want to do Pilgrim because there would be nearly no danger, so didn't think that would be a good way to start. So it's a Voyager run. I think this is his second night. Yeah, go walk in the freezer. Done. This is his second night, so he's doing much better this time. The last run was kind of spawned out in the woods and didn't really find very good shelters. The second run spawned next to the camp office, found the Cardohydro Dam, so obviously like much more loot, much better position. Got a gun. He refuses to load it. Did you manage to find your way all the way downstairs? Or are you next to your bed?
Yeah, it was fine. It's the advantages of playing with a nice monitor.
Oh, there you go.
Yeah. If only the game supported HDR. Or had ray tracing support so this light could bounce off the floor and actually illuminate the room at all. What the hell is this about, Canada? Or does Canada not have light bounce?
I do recall the last time, recently the devs did say they were going to be working on improving indoor lighting, so that's... Oh, so you did an interloper run, Evil Space. I see.
You spawn at Desolation Point and get up to Timberwolf Mountain before forging. Pete, we got Rumpo in today, aka Shacknews managing editor Bill, resident Canadian expert, and the Meat Master.
The Meat Master, yeah. How's it going, Pete? Evil Space Monkey, I actually have a pretty difficult time finishing runs because I get to a point where I'm bored. And I do certain things. I was telling the stream earlier, where I kind of make up my own objectives. I don't play Interloper, mostly because I'm looking for more of a chill experience. I've played Interloper. I appreciate the hell out of it. I love watching Interloper YouTube runs, but I am looking more for relaxation from this game than I am challenge. So yeah, I remember his streams.
You've got fans, apparently.
Oh yeah. Okay, yeah. No, I did. I was back at. They're talking about me. I did work Shacknews back in the day. I did some streaming, daily streaming. Lots of hockey, rage hockey.
Ooh.
Some Sims. Did some Sims. Trying to think what else. Did some DayZ as well. That's a pretty fun game. You must have played DayZ.
I am a huge fan of the original DayZ mod and all the stuff that sprung up from it, but I grew to aggressively hate the game DayZ as it was once it got on Steam.
Right.
This is more like DayZ than the mod was, I guess. More survival than whatever else.
Yeah. My buddies and I started an Arma 3. Well, we rented a server just so we could install different games on them and run our own servers for them. And we ran an Arma 3 server for a bit. And we never had a lot of people on it. Like, we just played with our buddies. But I really enjoyed the Arma 3 servers that we had, and just, you know, kind of configuring the experience for the way we wanted it to. I never did play the original DayZ mod, though. I just got the standalone version. Yeah. I actually watched the DayZ standalone stream last night. I haven't done that in a while. Yeah, you know what, Evil Space Monkey, though, that's cool. Like, take a break, you know? I do. I'll play this game for a month or two, and then I just burn out. I play it so much, and I love it. But you need variety. Take a break. Strategy or survival? Do I have... You know what? And you can actually talk more to Chris about this than me. Is I started playing the Hunter Call of the Wild. I think Chris has been playing it a lot more than I have. So he could probably. It's open world. Doesn't really have the same survival mechanics, but does have that hunting and exploration.
Yeah, it's you can play it as an exploration simulator, or you can shoot the animals. You gotta go either way. Enormous maps in that game, which are nice, and it's runs on the Avalanche engine, which is the same thing that powers Rage 2, Just Cause 3, 4, 2, Renegade Ops. So it looks good. Their recreation of forests are pretty wild. Some of the most dense forest you'll see in any video game. So that part's cool, and a lot of good ambient sound. So yeah, it's relaxing. The hunting part is pretty good as far as hunting sim goes.
Yeah. I was bummed out that there wasn't more to do with the animals after hunting them.
Like you wanted to have sex with them?
Yeah, of course.
Oh yeah.
No, I just mean like you kind of click on them and then it's over. You know what I mean? Like there wasn't really
you don't have a chance to crawl inside them and wear them and taxidermy them on your own private lodge. Like, it'd be nice if you could have like multiplayer hunting clubs where you would work together to build some sort of instance lodge where you put your biggest kills in a room or whatever.
Or even a food and water mechanic would have been fine with me, you know. But I'm all about survival though, so I can't really knock the game for not doing that. It's just that's where I kind of gravitate.
What do you think about Don't Starve? Did you play that one?
I did not play that. I own it.
I recommend you give that one the old college try.
I will do that.
What about Minecraft? Did you ever find yourself playing it?
A little bit. Didn't really get into it.
It's not really survival heavy unless you play on the newer difficulties they've added, but it's pretty crazy.
You know what?
Nighttime in Canada lasts 12 hours.
Yeah,
We must be near the North Pole.
I will definitely give Don't Starve a try. Evil Space Monkey, do you own a console? Do you own a PlayStation 4 or an Xbox One? Because I have an idea that you might like, and I'm sure you've heard of it, but one of the games that I play kind of as a survival game is Red Dead 2. Because I think Red Dead has some of the best hunting mechanics in the out there. So Red Dead 2 is really good. The world is amazing. It's very, very cool. Very detailed. The way the animals behave is very authentic. Like you'll see two bucks battling each other. You'll see a hawk pick a salmon up out of the river and try to fly away with it. So yeah, Red Dead 2 is really good. It has a story, and some people like it and some people don't. But if you just play it as like, I want to walk around and camp and hunt animals and whatnot, it's pretty fun. I do that a lot. That or another world I enjoyed being in was Far Cry 5. There was pretty good. It wasn't really survivally, but there's a lot of hunting and there was a lot of fishing and whatnot in that, so I enjoyed that one. I don't think you could sleep outside though. I'm not sure. Yeah, Far Cry is not as much of a survival game, but it did have pretty decent fishing, and I actually liked the terrain a lot. But you're right, it doesn't. It's a little bit too. Red Dead's much better in terms of like giving you that exploration and hunting and fishing experience. But Call of the Wild is also really good. That's what I've been playing the last couple of days. Bought all the DLC for it, and then 7 hours later, it went on sale.
That's video games.
Yep.
All right, now we got some more stuff transferred. I'm gonna get outside here and really do it.
You're gonna give her a go. Where are you going?
I like that I ate myself until my meters were full, and then I went upstairs and slept for 2 hours, and now I'm about to starve again.
Really?
Is my guy also taking marijuana on the side?
Click on the person at the top of your screen, the character screen or whatever.
Down under 1,000 calories. I'm a growing boy.
Afflictions. You're fine. Honestly,
my affliction is, look at my nose.
Yeah.
I look Canadian as shit.
Yeah, they go for the paper mache look there. There's an advanced way that people who play this game a lot handle food. They don't eat during the day at all. They starve, and they'll lose anywhere from say 10% to 15% condition through the day, and then they'll just eat 800 calories at night and go to sleep and recover all that condition and just do it again. So that way, instead of having to always battle the calories, you're only really worrying about 800 a day. It can be maybe 750, somewhere in there.
It doesn't leave you a lot of room for goofing up though.
No, it takes a couple days to starve to death, so you'd be all right. Water is far more important. Food is not really much of a problem. It can be on Interloper, of course, but the Interloper players have ways of fixing that. Yeah, see, I can tell Evil Space Monkey. Once you get to Interloper, this becomes a very... the people who are very, very good at this game are extremely good at the details. They know exactly how many calories they need, exactly what they can get away with, how far they can go, how much they need to drink, how much they need to sleep. It gets very detailed, and I find that interesting. But when I'm playing, I don't want to be that involved. I just kind of want to wander around and shoot at bears.
Nice fishing hut.
Yep. Did you ever make fishing tackle?
No.
Should be good to drink.
Nuts and stuff. Always important.
Always a big fan of nuts and stuff.
Oh, those Those are top socks, man.
I just found the big dick socks.
Yep. Those are the best.
Not in the world's best shape, but we can repair them later when I get back to my...
Put them in the other slot, though.
They're not supposed to be on my left foot?
What it is, though, if you look at your clothing, on the left side of the screen, basically the outer layer on each side is the outer layer. So you want your best socks in terms of, like, waterproof. You want them to be on the outer side, if that makes sense.
All right.
Need to find some place to escape this cold.
I don't think he's going to get far enough for it to really be an issue, Evil Space.
I hear the wolves.
Oh, cool. Maybe they've spoke to this guy.
I could use this.
I always find it weird in this game how I see dead bodies that are like next to, like, yeah, it's a fishing hut and it's not that great a shelter, but why are you gonna die 2 feet outside of it? Like, I'd be inside.
Maybe they suffered from the affliction I had where I had to get as far away as I could from that fire. Pry bar.
There might have been a pry bar up top, was it?
Oh yeah. Now I've got to get off this damn ice. It's too cold.
There's your wolf. Not gonna go at him with the gun? Better load that weapon. There you go. I'm a couple seconds behind, so you were probably already loading the weapon. There's a bear too.
Why did I have to do this?
I would be very careful about how much time you spend.
I need to drop some.
Too late. My feet are gone.
Your feet are gone. But you what? Come on! But it's gonna be more fun if the bear gets him. Even Space Monkey. We're just exploring right now. He's got to go through it.
Is standing on the ice colder than wading through the snow?
Honestly, never bothered to look. If your
As it
feet
feels
get
like
wet-
I cooled down.
Yeah, even Space Monkey. I'm not concerned about him living or dying. I just want I just want him to try new
That's
things.
Shacknews management for you.
Yeah, I'm not getting Shacknews management. I'm not concerned about you living or dying. Wow, that's aggressive. So you've had enough of that, huh? You're not.
Well, I'm freezing and I'm losing my bar, and I've got this fresh ass wolf carcass. If I had to kill one of my cousins, I might as well get the steak off him.
Right. I can't remember. Try shooting the bear. I can't remember. Can you get intestinal parasites on Voyager? I feel like no, but I'm not. Maybe you can. Maybe it's Pilgrim. I can't remember. Okay, so he's safe. He can eat the wolf meat then. Yeah. Okay, that's cool. I always play on a custom Evil Space. I usually go for something because I get stressed out when there's too much loot in this game. I prefer. I want to use the gun and I want the knife and the hatchet, but I don't want to loot. So I usually go with like a stalker for baseline resources. And I also turn blizzards pretty far down when I'm playing because I dislike them a lot. I don't care how cold the world gets, I'll deal with that. But blizzards mean I can't walk around outside as much as I want to. So I have a very unique custom way of playing this. Bear and Boost turned all the way up, so I can climb lots of those. So this is home base. You're safe again. That's good. So something to keep in mind about your wolf meat is that indoors it decays faster than outdoors. So if you keep it on you and you stay indoors or you leave it indoors, then it's gonna, like, its condition will drop quicker. If you don't, whatever meat you're not gonna eat right away, you can just leave it on the ground outside the door and it'll lose condition much faster. Sorry, it'll lose condition much slower.
Come on. That did it.
Are we cooking wolf meat? I'm actually impressed that you hit your first shot too, and that you waited long enough to make sure you got a good shot off.
I mean, I've played like 390 hours of The Hunter.
Yeah, it's just the aiming the rifle in this game is a little not as proper as it should be. They used to kind of make some wonky calculations to make up for the fact that like the rifle condition was low or whatever.
I goofed up my fire and forgot to put my extra books. Also, my loose wood I need to go get.
Where's your loose wood? On the ground?
Come on.
It's in my pants.
Alright. Have you noticed that when you're walking around with a full backpack that it makes more noises? You can kind of hear it clanking around a little bit more.
I might have to drop some gear.
Evil, I remember after the update that brought... What did it bring? The update that brought the revolver. So that was what? Steadfast Ranger, I want to say? A month or two or whatever ago? I remember using the rifle for the first time after that update. And I was like, okay, this is not working. I am not that bad of a shot. This is broken. And I eventually figured out that if I press the space bar to bring up my radio wheel, that the mouse pointer in the middle of the screen was where the bullet would go. But you basically had to aim above and to the left of everything. It was nuts for like 4 days. How did they move the bow aim point? I haven't read that yet. I think Evil Monkey dominates the chat here. Have you actually had a wolf steak yet, or did you not get the first one?
I ate the first wolf steak.
Was it cooked?
I believe so.
Well, if you're not sick...
Really put a good sear on that wolf steak. and hopefully you get some heat back. My dude is already exhausted, so...
Well, you're getting heat back if you look in the bottom left there.
Yeah, I got 3 arrows up on the heat, so we're coming back slowly.
And I assume you're not going back out today anyway, so you're fine.
And even though it is just now noon.
Yeah, it's noon. You're like, well, that's...
I was exhausted by 7 a.m.
Yeah, it's dark outside.
Space Monkey says I need to take the meat off before it's done to let it draw for maximum succulence.
Oh, yeah, and parasites. Don't do that, yeah.
Yeah, look at that meat.
There you go. It's ready to go now. It's cooked.
Just ate the shit out of that meat.
You cooking more, or is that just the one?
No, I mean, I've got some steaks. I might as well cook. How long does the cooked meat last in your inventory?
It'll last a long time. Even in your inventory, it'll
Longer
last
than the raw meat?
several days. No, raw meat will last. Raw meat... Okay, so it's kind of wonky. When you cook meat, it gains 50% of its condition back. So you can leave raw meat in your inventory until it's 50% condition. Cook it, and it's 100%. So it's better not to cook meat until it's at 50%, because if you cook it and the condition drops to 50%, you don't have a way to restore that. Oh, yeah, you even have a wolf pelt on you.
Yes, sir.
So is it against your
Mm-hmm.
your values to wear a wolf coat, or would that just be making you more
I'm already a monster.
for shooting it? Yeah. And you're carrying around. Actually, did you put the wolf pelt in the filing cabinet?
No, but I should.
No, 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 don't put it on the ground. Don't put it inside anything. Now, if you look at the ground, now
It's going to be curing. All right.
If you right click on that, by the way, you can move it around so you can sort of like organize your base, and then left click to place it or right click to cancel it. Yeah. So now once it cures, then it can be used for crafting. But if it's inside of a container, it won't cure. How reliable is the wool? Are the wolves running from you when you're wearing the wolf coat? Because I typically don't wear the wolf coat just because of the weight warmth ratio. I'm not a huge fan of. But... Oh, I get it. Yeah, so you come up over the like the crest of a hill or something, and a wolf's there. Okay. Yeah, fair enough. One of the things that I do, Evil Space Monkey, is I carry around the bearskin bedroll, and everyone's like, "Why would you do that?" And it's like, well, honestly, like it's just a sacrifice that I choose to make in my game. I understand that it's not the smartest thing to do, but it's just one of the things that I prefer to do. Yeah, I'm pretty crazy about, like, I have an inventory system that I use. I'm very rarely encumbered. But if I'm gonna sacrifice weight, it's gonna be with clothes. Like, I want to be so damn warm that I don't have to worry about it. So the one thing in this game that'll kill you real quick is the cold.
Not sure why I feel so tired.
How tired are you? Exhausted?
I'm mega ass tired.
Yeah? Okay. Oh, you're...
You know, breaking that chair down into 4 legs is enough to kill a man.
Yep. Remember when you had a sprain and couldn't absorb heat?
Yeah, that was pretty wild.
So, it looks like you slept 7 hours, but it looks like you can keep sleeping.
Yeah, I guess I might as well, right?
Well, you might as well go to full, right? Because it's dark. There's nothing to do in the dark. You go outside, but...
Play with myself.
Are you looking for a bed? When I say he had a sprain and he couldn't absorb heat, it's just a joke. Because he was outside cutting wood for like an hour and a half and basically killed himself, but he had a sprain, so he surmised that the sprain was the cause of the death. Hilariously. You've made it over 2 days, man. You're almost at 3 days.
I'm pretty much the best player of the Long Dark in the world. The sun will be peeking up soon. I got extra stink on me. That's good, because I'm carrying that dead-ass meat.
Yeah, just when you go outside to do whatever you're going to do, just drop it on the ground. All right.
That won't attract a bear.
You want to? Go back to where you were.
No, I mean, like, leaving wolf meat hanging off the front porch won't attract animals?
Nah, okay, like, if the animal's already close enough, I've heard tell of people saying that yes, it would, but I have never... You can keep the cooked one on you. I think one piece of cooked meat is fine. But I have never had a problem leaving meat outside and having a wolf or a bear pick it up. If it's on you, yes, it will, but no. You should be perfectly safe leaving it out there. Yeah, that's what I said, Evil Space Monkey. But I've had other people tell, like, you know how people in this community are. Sometimes they say things that they believe, and then they pass it as fact, and it's not actually fact, and that happens a lot. So I don't want to say for sure when I don't know for sure. So I've never had an animal pick up meat that I've left outside on the ground, but other people have claimed that they have. And if they did, whatever, it's one piece of meat, right? Who cares? Like,
I just ate that big ass piece of meat, waited for 1 hour, and now I'm down to 25%. This is like DayZ style, where your guy just has to burn 28,000 calories every 4 hours.
yeah, that's why people started using the
semi-starve method
trick, right?
Yeah,
they're tired of it. Like, you know how much hunting, like, a deer gives you like 7 to 12 kilograms of meat, I guess. So you get, I don't know, we'll say average of 8 or 9 steaks out of a deer. If you could easily eat 2 to 3 steaks a day if you're constantly trying to keep your hunger up. So what, you're gonna kill a deer every 2 days? Like, you wouldn't do anything else except just hunt deer nonstop, trying to stay, or hunt nonstop. So yeah, I guess there's a little bit of, people get frustrated. They don't want to have to do that much hunting that often. So they kind of tone it back a little bit and starve themselves during the day, eat 700 calories at night. Like, if I kill a moose in this game, I am golden for more than a month. Like, I have no problems. I will not starve for a month. If you are not sure what to do at this time of day, you can read your book too. That's good. As long as, yeah, okay, so that's good. Because the game says that it's light out even though you can't really see, so you read for an hour and then the sun should come up and should be good to go. Yeah, I know about the moose corpse. I also know about the moose satchel in there. One of my in-game goals was to survive in Hush River Valley for 30 days. Wasn't that bad. I got my ribs broken on the first day, but I managed to recover. You do pretty good with your weight management too. That's usually a big problem for new players. Have fun walking around in that.
It's time to do the dance with the bear.
Do you remember where he is?
Oh, yeah.
So, do you want any tips for this, or do you just want to do it?
Absolutely not.
All right.
I'm going to take a bunch of rocks and throw rock at the bear until he decides he wants some shit.
I don't think you're going to need the rocks, but that's cool. You should get ready to highlight this. That must mean we're getting close to the end of the stream.
No, I just
time to start.
I just gotta know what I'm capable of.
All right.
I want to explain it to my cubs, or my pups, if they knew their father wasn't capable of going toe to toe with a bear.
So the wolves are your friends. The bear is the enemy. I'm actually the opposite. I'm a massive, massive bear fan. Watch every bear documentary I can find. You hit him. And he will leave a blood trail, by the way.
I'll never find my way back if I chase that deer.
Nope.
Not in this visibility.
But the good news is, like any animal besides a moose, if you shoot it and it bleeds, it will die. That deer is dead. It's just a matter of time.
But it will freeze if I don't find it in time, right?
It will freeze, but that's okay, because if you wanted to harvest it tomorrow, it'll be there. You could light a fire next to it, and that will actually thaw the deer out, and you can harvest it.
All right.
Or you have a knife. One of the things, actually, I don't know. You might not be able to harvest a frozen deer with a knife. I'm not sure. I know you can't do it with your hands at a certain stage, but again, even if you're harvesting a deer outside, the proper way to do it would be to light a fire so you don't freeze to death over the 2 hours or whatever. So you're basically just storing your food outside. That moose is gonna, or sorry, that bear is gonna be your left wolf. There's your wolf.
I'm sorry, buddy.
Did you leave anything on him?
No.
You must have. There must be something.
Well, I think there was like one of his intestines I didn't take.
Yeah, so that's a trick as well, right? If you harvest the entire animal, then it'll disappear, like once you go inside or indoors and come back out. So the fact that you left something on him is a trick that people use, because that corpse will stay there for like 3 days. So that means that a new wolf is not going to spawn in its place. So it's one way that people kind of use, like you leave one piece of something on the animal, and then you don't have to deal with the wolf in that spot. I'm interested in this bear. I don't know where this bear is, right? Like I have an idea of where it should be, but I'm just curious if it's there.
can't feel my hands.
Sometimes the weather will make the animals go away.
Yeah, he was up against this wall before.
Yeah, that'll be his cave right over there. Like, you're getting close to us. Oh, I think I saw him. No, keep going. It's not the wall. It's going to be more in the corner. Is where he would be. Actually, no, you're correct. It was that wall. I just could not see. I believe. Either way, you're close enough to where he is or should be that there's a cabin nearby. If you really want to see the bear, what I would consider doing is going inside and sleeping for a couple hours and then hoping the fog will clear up. And then coming back outside. And he should be there. I think sometimes in blizzards and in like really foggy weather and stuff like that, the animals can go away. They don't want any part of it.
The wolves are definitely over there. I can hear them.
I don't know if that means they're there or not. I assume so. But...
Yeah.
Yeah, I would expect that if you were to bed down for a nap, then get back up, you would find Mr. Bear. That bear, like now that you found it in that location, it will continue like to spawn there. Even if you kill it, like after a while, it'll respawn there. But it'll continue. Like that's now going to be an active cave in this region for this playthrough. So if you ever wanted to hunt a bear, then you could come back here and find one. Fog doesn't usually last too long. Maybe 2 hours or something like that. You're burning 135 calories. Oh, so you've kept your calorie count above 0 for long enough that you now have an extra 5 kilograms of carry weight. Oh,
So that's a nice buff.
Yeah, but the second that you go to 0, so like
lose
see how
the
you're
buff.
about to, yeah, you lose the buff, and then you've got to have it for 72 hours again before you get the buff back. If you just keep looking along the wall for the bones that I told you about, like there should be carcass bones somewhere, that'll be his cave. It very well could be sleeping in its cave right now and you're just walking around beside it. I actually think you hadn't gone far enough. I think I was right the first time. It's more over that way. You're headed. That looks like it right there. Yeah. So it's not there right now. Chances are you're not going to see it again until, like I said, you're going to have to sleep until, or go indoors and come back outdoors. Could be there in the morning or something, that kind of thing. Could have wandered across the ice, like you could have just walked past it in this fog and not realized it. Are you hell-bent on fighting this bear?
You ever seen the movie The Edge?
Yes.
I've gone mad.
I remember the first bear that I ever shot in this game. For whatever reason, it didn't... I got lucky and it didn't realize where I had shot from. So when I shot it, it ran. And then I just used that knowledge as like, when you shoot bears, they run. And that didn't work out well for me long term. This is the good one. 3 hours, nice sleep. You're gonna get your bear. Unless the weather's still crap. Come on, be clear. There you go. Is it really not there? Wow. It's not to your left walking around on the ice, is it? There's a wolf. Huh. That's weird, man. That's weird. I would have expected that bear to be there. Sometimes when you come outdoors from an indoor location, it'll come from its cave, so you know it could have walked out of there, but I still don't see it anywhere. Like that cave looks empty to me.
What have we here? Never been so hungry in my life.
I don't think I'm going to be satisfied unless I see you get mauled here. That's a question for Call of the Wild. Do animals attack? I assume so.
Yes, you can be attacked by animals.
All kinds of animals, or just the
Well,
typical...
I mean, a rabbit's not going to fuck you up, but, like, you know.
Right.
You can be hurt by most things. Even if they're not, like, a predator, per se.
So, like, a buck.
Yes, a buck can tear you up. I've been, like, laying in a bush, waiting for 45 real-life minutes to snag a big one, and then didn't even realize another one was in a bush next to me, and I turned around and spooked it, and it spooked me, and I was like, and then it ran me over. Killed me.
I actually bought the, well, as I've discussed, all the DLC, but I bought one of the specific ones I wanted was the tree stand. That's awesome, by the way, because that feels like relatively safe hunting.
I don't think I've ever killed anything from a tree stand in that game.
I killed three deer, and killing from tree stands puts less pressure on the animals. So if you kill from a tree stand, you can actually kill more of them than you could have before. I don't really understand the pressure system that well, but I get the concept of it, the general idea. So I bought the tree stand one. I bought the tent one so that I could sleep anywhere I want. But what I did is I knew there was a... I really like how it tells you that there's, like, let's say, like a drinking zone or whatever. And that they're typically active from, like, one particular time of day to another. So I put my tree stand up and just sat in the tree stand for, like you said, for about 45 real minutes. And just waited until the deer came by. So you really didn't want to fight the wolf, huh?
Well, I don't know. I had a gun.
You also have the option to quarter it too. So if you don't want to, the quartering is cool, especially with larger animals, because you can quarter it and then take the bags of meat and guts and all that crap back to your base and harvest it. So you don't have to spend quite as much time.
I can't believe that coward bear won't step to me.
Just go sleep for the night. Come back out. And don't sleep in that cabin. Sleep in one of the ones in front of you there if it's close by, because there's always a possibility that your proximity to his spawn point is going to stop him from spawning. I don't know that that's a thing, but I'm just trying to think of possible reasons that he's not showing up.
That'll come in handy. All I can think about is food.
These blue lines I've got on these items, does that mean that I got them wet somehow?
Yes.
How the hell did that happen?
The snow.
Oh.
It's snowing outside. But you're indoors now, so it shouldn't freeze. So it'll dry out overnight. But obviously, like, the game's pretty... it's pretty intuitive in the sense that if you put, like, let's say you get your feet, your shoes get soaked and frozen. Like, that can give you frostbite on your feet. But if you're indoors, you can take off your shoes, put them next to a fire, and they'll dry out quicker and whatnot. Then because you've taken the frozen item off your feet, you're not going to get frostbite. Assuming that your feet aren't freezing now that you've taken your shoes off. You're doing the 12 hours, huh? Oh yeah, you can't sleep if you're not tired. You pass time though. You got an Aurora.
Oh boy.
Those are actually pretty useful because you can read and whatnot at nighttime if you want to. I don't know, that bear could be there now.
I think I can use this.
Working beans. Alright, Bear, it's time to take you out by the light of the Aurora.
If it's not there, then I think it's going to be back for a bit.
Oh, hell yeah.
This is awesome.
It's time to dance to the dragon, buddy.
Which one's the dragon?
I'm the dragon.
So then what does that make the bigger, stronger wolf or bear?
Dragon fodder.
He's easy. Don't try to shoot right now because your breath's... You hit this bear. You hit it. It's gonna die, but you might die first. This is DiCaprio simulator now. You are all kinds of hurt. Your gun is on the ground.
Yeah.
I'm gonna bleed out soon.
I only took 2 right between the eyes. It was a tough bear.
Yeah. That kind of bothers me. Are you gonna live through this one?
Oh, you know it. I'm a proud wolf.
Bleed out soon.
You might want to put a bandage on something when you get up.
You need to stop backseat hunting. All right, beer.
Feeling faint.
You got that stim on you?
Didn't get to that stem fast enough. That was great. 3 days survived, 16 locations. We ate almost 11,000 calories. We were basically eating fast food. Traveled 7 miles. We were awake for 50 hours. We rested for 35. That's not terrible. Spent a lot of time indoors. We killed every wolf we came across. We survived 2 bear attacks. Did not successfully kill the bear. You know, it happens. We did a lot.
Oh, you even killed a deer. That deer did die.
That deer died. Yeah, hell yeah, he died. Shot him right in the throat. That's where you get him. So, you want to jump into the hunter for a little bit here, now that we've gone through the full range of emotions in the long dark so far?
Probably not today, but I would be down for a hunter stream at some point if you're
all right. Well, I may still flip over anyway here for the folks as a cooldown and give a loose overview before we do a full multiplayer or whatever.
Yeah, that sounds good. I'm probably free most days, so
all right.
Let me know what works for you, and I can squeeze it in.
Well, this has been build 1.55-48657 of The Long Dark. It's available on Steam. We put a link in the chat earlier. Let me see if I can do it again. It's currently available via the Steam sale. It is hefty discount. If you've ever wanted to be eaten by a bear, this could be the